All right, next on to the Giants, last team of the division we're looking at here. Can't talk about the Giants without talking about Daniel Jones first and foremost. What a fun rookie year he had. And I think a lot of people kind of saw that, we can't say that he's the franchise guy yet, but can't really say he's not with the way he was playing. He's got a couple things to clean up here and there. I think his biggest problem is the fumbling. He had 20 plus turnovers last year of his rookie season, which was not fun to watch by any means. But if you look at the past 10, 15 years, every leader for fumbles it's always a rookie quarterback. It's always one of them. And that's just a skill that some rookie quarterbacks come in with. They're just holding on to that ball, but one of them always doesn't because they always lead in fumbles, and that's because of the way they hold it, the susceptibility of a quarterback getting hit compared to when a running back's running with it. It's a little more tightly wound, all those things, but it is always a rookie. And I think if he shored up that one thing, he could be a lot better. And now there's one of three things that's going to happen going forward with Daniel Jones. He's either going to really improve his play as a quarterback and fix the fumbling issue. Well, then I'd say he's a top 15 quarterback, above average. He's slinging it, fixes the fumbling and everything. Then you can look at him and say, that is our franchise quarterback. I'd say his closest NFL comparison is probably going to be Ryan Tannehill. In the right system, let's watch him thrive. In the wrong system, not as much fun to watch. But with that fumbling issue fixed and a better passer and making the quicker reads as people do as they progress throughout professional sports, could be a really fun and dynamic player to watch. Or he fixes the fumbling issue but doesn't get that much better as a passer, and he is as middle of the line. He's the next Andy Dalton, middle of the line quarterback, about as middle of the line as you can get every single year. Not as much fun to watch. Kind of seems like you wasted the 6th overall draft pick on somebody like that. Definitely not what you want. But even worse, if he does not progress and make a second-year jump, kind of like we saw Lamar do, and he doesn't fix the fumbling issue, well, then you call it quits. Then he's not your quarterback. And I would hate to see the Danny Dimes reign end after only a couple years. But in the scenario where his fumbling doesn't get better and he can't progress on his reads and, the way he throws the ball, well, what are we doing then? But he does have the skill positions around him right now, I believe, to really succeed. You got Saquon Barkley, one of the most dynamic players in the NFL. I'll say it every day, say it any day. He's the best running back. He's got some competition. Got some really good competition. Saquon Barkley, when healthy, the best running back in the NFL, and he will continue to be. That being said, if he plays out 6 years and wants a long-term contract, no go. Don't do it. Running backs don't make it to 32 and keep turning unless you're Adrian Peterson. But they don't make it past 30 and really put up the numbers that's worth a long-term contract. What would be smart? Big money, short term. Just get it done. And then there's no way they're not then finding another short term deal with a team for less money. But you got Saquon Barkley, you got Sterling Shepard, who I think is a great wide receiver 2 option, Darius Slayton, and Golden Tate. You basically have 3 wide receiver 2s across the board. Now, maybe not the hardest thing in the world to cover, but with a little bit of improvement on Darius Slayton's end, if he makes a second-year jump, there's your wide receiver 1, plus Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard. That's dangerous. That'd be a top 10 receiving core in the NFL. Plus, you add Evan Ingram into that, who's basically your receiver lining up at tight end. A lot of this banks on health, but he's got options. He's not, that's where I feel bad for Dwayne Haskins. Can you really rave about the Redskins line? No. Can you really rave about their running game? Well, Peterson's on about, 2 out of every 5 games. Oh, and Geis is always hurt. He's got Terry McLaurin. Well, who else does he have? I think the smartest thing you can ever do with a young quarterback is wait. Make sure your offensive line can protect them. Make sure they have people to throw to. And if all of those are held true, put them in, let it rip. But looking this year with the Bengals releasing Andy Dalton, I am really, really scared for Joe Burrow. They had probably the worst offensive line in the NFL last year. And now you're going to put a rookie quarterback behind it because now you don't have a quarterback that who can step in. He's got receiving threats. I like AJ Green. I'm a big Tyler Boyd fan. John Ross is fast. He doesn't do that much. And then you got Joe Mixon, who surprised me. I wasn't huge on him out of college, but you got Joe Mixon. I like it. But if you're getting hit constantly, like you just don't want to watch that. Now I think Miami is setting it up a little bit better. You got Tua, but you also got Ryan Fitzpatrick, who isn't going anywhere. Just let Fitzpatrick start. See how this brand new offensive line does. If they can protect Tua, let them protect him. Put him in. If Ryan Fitzpatrick is taking 3, 4, 5 sacks a game, taking some hits, don't do it. Don't put him in. Don't let him waste an entire career because you want to win today. The Dolphins aren't set up to win today. The Dolphins are set up, I don't know, I can see them doing 7 wins. But you don't put a quarterback behind a line with nobody to throw to. But at least Daniel Jones has people to throw to. The offensive line is coming along. Not a huge Nate Solder guy, but then you keep going. You got Will Hernandez, Spencer Pulley probably at center. Don't love that. He's more of a backup type guy. But Will Hernandez, Kevin Zeitler, and Andrew Thomas. I like those 3. Daniel Jones can have some time back there as long as Nate Solder isn't a complete turnstile. And I like that. The biggest thing that could potentially turn the Giants around too is Mark Colombo joining the team. Their past offensive line coach, as I said, came off his couch. He was hired off his couch. He wasn't doing anything for anybody. So he wasn't going to do anything good, and he didn't do anything good. But now you bring in Mark Colombo, and you're like, well, he's done some good things. You bring in Jason Garrett, he's done some good things with Dak Prescott. And you bring in Joe Judge, who's all, to be determined. But I see the Giants as a team in the right direction, but that doesn't matter if they don't win. The past 3 years, they've had a pick in the top 6. It's not really computing to wins yet. And until that's where it's going, it's all just going to be talk about all this potential that they have, which is pretty to be seen at this point. I like the Joe Judge hire. Dave Gettleman, super hit and miss. I think he's hilarious to watch. But yeah, and then you kind of look at the Giants defense. They're building it in an interesting way. I think there's 2 ways to look at defense. 2 or 3 ways you can look at defense. You can do what I like about the Redskins and the 49ers and just crush your defensive line. Just the type of line that nobody feels comfortable going against. Get your Nick Bosa, get your Chase Young, and just go after it. Or you can do more of what I see the Giants going for, is where if you're going to pressure the quarterback, it's going to come from time. They've really spent a lot of high draft picks on their secondary, as well as some trades and some free agent signings. But looking at, you got DeAndre Baker, first round pick. You got James Bradberry, picked up from the Panthers. Pretty underrated in my opinion. He played against Mike Evans twice a year and never really got that burnt on him. And then you got Julian Love, who's a 4th round draft pick last year, slot corner, free safety option. Jabril Peppers, back at safety, part of the Odell trade. They saw him as a 1st round talent. And now you got Xavier McKinney, another 1st round talent back there. They've spent the picks and the money on that secondary. It just has to come together. And now they're kind of starting going towards the front, where they got some interesting inside linebackers with Blake Martinez and Ryan Connolly, David Mayo. I think that's an average rotation. I don't think it's anything great. And then their outside linebackers, I'd put them at worst in the NFL. I don't think they're the worst players, But as a group, you got Kyler Fackrell, doesn't really get anybody excited about it, you know. Got O'Shane Zimenez, could be good, but once again, we're relying on potential. And Lorenzo Carter, who didn't really make that second year jump, but could be good. I don't want this to happen, but a unique Ngakoue type signing or Davian Clowney could bolster this defense, but I don't think they're worth the money they're asking for, especially because the Giants still, at best, would be 8 wins. Now, their interior D line, I love it. You got B.J. Hill, Dalvin Tomlinson, Dexter Lawrence, and Leonard Williams. I don't like the Leonard Williams trade, but I like having him on the team. They gave up a little much for him. But I think they're a team that's moving in the right direction. I think it's a clearer direction than teams like the Redskins. But they're still not going to really compete with the Eagles and the Cowboys for this division, barring injuries. So this is a really interesting division. It's going to be competitive in some sense. I think the Giants are going to give the Cowboys and the Eagles a run for their money in game and end up losing. But the record isn't going to be, they're not going to be competing for the division. I think they got two really good teams. Eagles are a couple draft picks, a couple of those late draft picks churning out away from another Super Bowl, like a Super Bowl game. I don't know if they'd win it. Chiefs, Ravens, and Titans, or make the AFC pretty hard to turn down. Cowboys defense is the biggest thing that worries me, and the Redskins are just going to sit towards the bottom with the Giants down there with them. It's an interesting division, and I think, honest to God, over the next 3 years, it will be the most competitive division within the division, the most competitive in football. And I could see one of these teams doing really big things and making another Super Bowl run in the next 5 years.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching this video from Play Action Focus. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that for us. I just want everybody to know this is my favorite thing in the world. I do this for fun. We have the website playactionfocus.com. This is me, Dylan Meyer. I run the whole thing. This is my favorite thing to do in the world. This is truly a passion project for me right now, and all the support is really, really appreciated from you guys, and I hope you keep tuning in. Thank you.